Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, one of my horological heroes, part of a quartet of colorful white gold Daytonas launched back in the year 2000. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona Beach. 116519 is the reference number. Daytona Beach is more of a nickname. There were 4 watches. You had 3 with colorful mother of pearl dials in blue, yellow, and pink, and then this one with gorgeous green Chrysoprase or Chrysoprase, depending on your preference. This is a watch that absolutely sizzles. Now, the timepiece 40 millimeters in diameter, 12.2 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip 47.3 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. A lot of these watches were originally shipped using short straps, with the idea being that the watch was perhaps more feminine in character than a standard Cosmograph and might sell more easily to a female audience. But in time, I've found that the appeal of these colorful Cosmographs is pretty universal and unisex. You can see on my wrist this watch wears beautifully. Bereft of its solid end-link bracelet, the Daytona wears quite compact, and I could see this wearing well on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. It is also flat enough to fit underneath the cuff. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see an unusual and uncommon application of factory lizard leather on a Rolex OEM strap. It's calfskin on the bottom. It is green lizard leather on the top with a monotone stitch, a sheer cut side, and a folding clasp with a combination of divots drilled, so you can use your strap tool to change the anchoring point of that strap. And then there is a clamshell lock to hold it all in place, a combination of satin and polish. And then there's a little end link that integrates into the profile of these strap-clad Daytonas, so you get a more integrated look. There's not a gap between strap, spring bar, and case flank. This is gray gold, which is white gold 18 karat that is white all the way through. It never needs to be rhodium plated, and you can see it's a little bit warmer than something like a rhodium plated white gold, which would look more like platinum or polished steel. This has a little bit of a darkness that comes with gray gold, but make no mistake, gray gold is what you want. It's the upscale stuff. Rolex also has its own foundry. It makes its own cases, it blends its own gold, so it chose gray gold because it controls the process. We have here a triplock crown in gold. You know that because it has 3 dots, with the center dot being the largest. Screw down crown, screw down pushers, 100-meter water resistance, and a tachymeter scale, because after all, Daytona Beach is where the legend of speed in Daytona started. Before the Speedway, heck, before the Bonneville Salt Flats, Daytona Beach was where hot rodders, daredevils, and manufacturers went to set world records and claim bragging rights. Over time, the action moved from the sand to the tarmac of the Speedway, but Daytona Beach remains legendary for motorsports exploits. And frankly, this watch also incorporates some of the youthful exuberance of spring break at Daytona Beach. So with the tachymeter, you can time your race car. With the green dial, you'll blend right in with the Generation Z or millennial crowd. We have a combination of white gold Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4. And just to clear up one of the persistent questions about this model, yes, the hands are loomed. The dial is Chrysoprase or Chrysoprase. Both are correct. What it is a cryptocrystalline made principally of silica with nickel mixed in. And so cryptocrystalline means you can't see the smaller subsidiary crystals that make up the Chrysoprase. And it's only when you get exceptionally close to it that you can see any kind of subtle marbling pattern at all. It looks almost like green lacquer, and the nickel is what gives it that green tone. So this is definitively not mother of pearl. Those are the other Daytona Beaches. This one is Chrysoprase. Taking a quick look at the sub-registers, you can see each one of them has a polished chaptering. The hands, the numerals, and the Rolex crown all white gold. We also have a white gold solid case back, and under that, the first generation of the Rolex caliber 4130, which was Rolex's in-house automatic chronograph that replaced the El Primero. 72-hour power reserve. This was the first Rolex automatic to use a ball bearing rather than a jeweled staff to make the winding system more shock tolerant. Also to that end, it has a full balance bridge and a free spring index for shock tolerance, an overcoil hairspring so it'll keep excellent time in any position, pursuant to earning a COSC chronometer certification for the watch, and although it wasn't parachrom blue at the time, the blue oxidation would come later. This used the first version of Rolex's parachrom niobium zirconium anti-magnetic hairspring. Now, it is a vertical clutch and column wheel chronograph, which means when you operate it, you feel and hear the column wheel. It's crisp, it's traditional, it's how a high-quality chrono should be built. And there's a vertical clutch, which has no play, so when you start it, there's no jump to the chronograph seconds hand, and if you wish, you can just leave it running. The watch has a 72-hour power reserve. With the vertical clutch, you're not doing any additional damage or causing undue wear and tear to the chronograph mechanism. You pull the crown out, there is a stop seconds function. The movement beats away. At 28,800 vibrations per hour, it pivots on 44 joules. And it is thin, integrated, and both accurate and fine, both durable and long-lasting, and it is still the heart and soul of the Daytona today. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.